What's up, everybody? Welcome to SLC Puck. I'm your host, Austin Facer. Thank you for tuning in to SLC Puck. We are talking to you Sunday, September 22nd, kind of late in the night because there's just been a lot going on. I mean, these people who are like, oh, nothing exciting happens in Utah on Sundays. You're dead wrong, mister. Today was a very exciting day in the Utah sports world, and it's really for a couple of reasons. And the excitement and I guess the full range of emotion was kind of felt today in Utah in the sports scene. We closed the book on Smith's Ballpark. The Salt Lake Bees played their last game ever there. We were there. It was a very kind of an emotional day there for a lot of reasons. I think some tears were shed by a lot of people there. But on the other side of the coin, we sort of turned the page and opened the chapters of the annals of history, we should say, for the Utah Hockey Club playing their first ever NHL preseason game. They did so in Iowa against the St. Louis Blues. And I know you're thinking, Iowa? Would they play in a cornfield there? Huh? It's Kevin Costner and Ray Liotta throwing a baseball around out there at center ice? No, actually. They played in an arena in Des Moines. I'll touch on why that happened from what I can tell. But again, it was the first ever preseason game for the Utah Hockey Club. About half of the crew that's working on summer training camp, I should say. I almost called it summer camp. Summer camps where you roast marshmallows and sing campfire songs and tell ghost stories. None of that happened in this hockey game, but just about everything else did. It was a really crazy hockey game. There were a lot of occurrences, a lot of crazy things happened. It sort of made me sad that Iowa got to enjoy this very quirky Utah Hockey Club game and not Utah, because I think it would have been a lot of fun for this to be the folks here getting an introduction to hockey this way. But yeah, my name's Austin Facer. You are listening to SLC Puck. You like the show, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to support the operation, this very high-tech operation that I am doing in a basement with a 20-year-old video game behind me, you can do so by snagging some merch, and I've got some good stuff over at slcpuck.shop. The thing I would recommend here, what I want to show you, is this mask on tee that I've designed here. It's a good looking shirt. I've sold a few of these, and the folks who have bought them are very happy with them. So I want that for you. So go ahead and to slcpuck.shop. Stuff's really reasonably priced. I priced it like pretty close to cost. So you guys are pretty much doing free marketing for me by wearing the stuff. So if you like the show, that's a great way to support it. Like, comment, subscribe. That's obviously my favorite way you can support the show as well. But yeah, we'll touch it on this game that we saw. You know, they played the game in Iowa. From what I could tell, it's because the NHL sort of views Iowa as like a test market right now. The AHL affiliate of the Minnesota Wild plays there. They're known as the Iowa Wild. So very clever guys. But, they played the game there. They got the privilege of seeing the Utah Hockey Club's NHL squad on the ice for the first time. Sort of like half of the guys who are at training camp right now went over, made the trip. The other half stayed here in Utah, probably to prepare for Monday's game against the Kings. So a few of the big names are missing. No Clayton Keller, no Mikhail Sergachev, no Connor Ingram in net, but we saw Dylan Guenther, Logan Cooley, Cole Baudouin, another guy that I thought is interesting. I've talked about him last week on the show. Kyler Yamamoto, who is a former first-round pick in the NHL, has played for the Oilers, the Kraken. He's 25 years old, fighting to save his NHL career. I thought he actually had a really nice game tonight as well. But it was such a quirky game. And again, so many weird things happened. And if you were following the game, by watching it on Seg, and believe me, I know that was probably a little bit rough. I watched the game on Seg Plus as well. Or, saw highlights on Twitter or lowlights, then you know exactly how quirky this game was. So let me just recap it for you really quick. St. Louis opened the scoring with a goal by Dylan Holloway. That put them up 1-0. Utah, however, responded by finding the back of the net not too long after that. The only problem being it was the wrong net. They scored on their own goal, which it was kind of a quirky, weird occurrence. The kind of goal this is not something you see very often in an NHL game. I was joking with the folks I was watching the game with that this is like something you would probably see in like a like a little kid game, that would seem more plausible then. But again, it was kind of funny how it played out. And I'll just show the replay and just set it up for you guys. So again, this is in the first period here, about 16 minutes left to go. And Utah has the puck right now. They're in the offensive zone. The puck's right here in the corner. I know it's real small, so just try to find my cursor right here. And if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, you're not getting the benefit of the visual. You're not seeing my pretty face and my cute explanations of the game. So flip over to YouTube, do all that. But the puck's right here in the corner. And what's going to happen? This is his name, Milos Kellerman's got the puck in the corner, and they're working it around. Right now, the official's arm is up. There's a delayed penalty, right? So if you're new to hockey, the way a delayed penalty works is, the referee's arm is in the air. The team who did not commit the penalty can control the puck as long as they can. As soon as the team who committed the penalty touches the puck, the play is blown dead. That player is thrown in the penalty box, and play resumes with the power play for the non-offending team, right? But when this happens, when there's a delayed penalty, the team that had the penalty committed against them has the puck. What you'll see is that team pull the goalie so they have an extra attacker because, the other team's not a threat to score at any point, right? Because, as soon as they touch the puck, the play's dead. That's the theory, right? That turned out to be a bit of a boo-boo, though, and it was a really fluky goal happened here, and I'll just show you the replay. So Milos Kellerman has the puck right here in the corner. He's going to swing it up to Dylan Guenther, who we'll talk about a little bit more in just a sec. He's going to swing the puck up to here, top of the blue line. But I don't know if you saw, the puck hit a weird bump in the ice or something, skipped over Guenther's stick and started to roll precariously towards the opposite net. No! Oh! It crossed the goal line into the net. You can see Guenther throws the puck down in frustration. I don't know if they ended up knowing who to credit this goal to for St. Louis, but yes, a very fluky, I guess, shorthanded goal in a way for St. Louis. Super weird, super bizarre. You don't really see this very often. So, the St. Louis Blues, Twitter admin got to be a funny person, got to be a comedian, and tweeted out, "Congratulations to Utah on their first goal as a franchise." Ha, ha, ha. That actually was pretty funny. That's pretty good. So I was laughing too when I saw this happen. I was like, "Holy cow!" That's hilarious. That's an incredible misfortune there. I mean, laugh or cry. What are you gonna do there? Like Dylan Guenther, I think, was gonna cry, but I'm sure that they ended up laughing about it later. I saw in the reporting, because after that, Utah got right back in it. Michael Carcone ended up scoring what was actually the first official goal for the Utah Hockey Club. You can see here this tweet I'm showing. They're being snarky here. Puck report. Okay, here's the actual first goal in Utah HC history. Michael Carcone buries it on the 2-0. So this was a kind of cool play right here. Ben McCartney here. He drew kind of a dumb penalty. Was in the penalty box, but the Utah Hockey Club did a really nice job killing it. He springs from the box. The puck rolls out past the blue line here. He scoops it up, beats the St. Louis Blues defender right there to the puck, gets ahead of it, corrals it. He's got the 2-0 with Michael Carcone. They go back and forth, ticky-tack, and in by Carcone. First ever goal. Keep the puck, Michael Carcone. That's yours. That's going. Or maybe they'll send it to the Hockey Hall of Fame. I don't know. Maybe they'll wait for like an actual regular season goal. But still, kind of interesting there. That's it. That's goal number 1 for Utah Hockey Club right there. From there, they tied it up with a rebound by Kevin Connaughton, who was playing defense and scored on a rebound goal, which I thought was kind of interesting. You don't really see like defenders come up that close to the net and score on a rebound goal, so I thought that was kind of interesting. He's one of those guys who's battling for a spot on this team. Again, there's a couple injuries. Nick Bugstad, John Marino is I know I'm talking so fast. I'm sure I'm saying a lot of these names wrong, but they're injured right now, so there's some opportunities for guys to come up and take some spots on the NHL opening roster. And Kevin Connaughton is one of those guys. Scored a goal. He's been in the NHL a little bit. He's had a cup of coffee, but hasn't been in the league in a significant way in a few years. So good to see him score a goal. Again, a lot of fun storylines there. But then we saw our guy, Dylan Guenther. He was frustrated. He was scooping the puck out of the net, on that own goal. But he comes back and he puts the Utah Hockey Club up 3-2. Scores a really nice backdoor goal here. See Logan Cooley gets it to the corner to Jack McBain, number 22, standing there on the goal line. McBain sees Guenther over there, backdoor wide open. He bangs it in there. He's the $56 million man. He's going to be putting those home all day and all night. Scores right there to put the Utah Hockey Club up 3-0. After that, game was kind of winding down. We're here in the third period. Logan Cooley, another one of the young superstars to be, perhaps young star, I think we'll say, maybe not a superstar quite yet, but Logan Cooley gets pulled down from behind. He gets the penalty shot. Again, this is not something you see very super often in the NHL. Scores right there, goes top shelf. We'll do another replay for you guys right here. Right here, gets the puck here. Boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Takes the angle here. Little stick handling, little deke, pulls it back. Boom, it's in. Right there, that put the Utah Hockey Club up 4-3. After that, Michael Carcone scored his second goal tonight on an empty netter. But again, this game was so fun. It had a little bit of everything. There was a little fracas behind the net, a little Donnybrook, you might say, a little kerfuffle, a little argument, a disagreement, some unpleasantries exchanged. There was some of that, right? I think people, if you're new to hockey, obviously, you may have heard there's fighting in hockey, so that was pretty cool. Jack McBain ended up without his helmet and gloves and all this stuff. It was a lot of fun. We saw some of the young guns that you might have heard about. Cole Baudouin, who is a first-round pick this year, the 24th overall pick. The Utah Hockey Club traded up to get him. He got to lace him up with the big boys. I thought he showed a lot of energy, a lot of drive. I don't think he's going to make the team. I think he's got kind of a long shot to do so. But I'm sure that the Utah Hockey Club is really excited about what they're seeing in this guy. It was cool. I saw this picture taken. I think this was either with the rookies, just the rookies, or maybe it was at the larger training camp. But he was the last guy off the ice. He stayed after everybody else had left and was helping to pick the pucks up and was putting them in the bucket with the coaching staff. It was like, wow, that's good. I think you're going to see him become like a future leader on this team. So. Again, I thought he played well. I thought he was really aggressive on the forecheck, was all over the ice. A lot of good stuff. Kyler Yamamoto was also awesome, but really is a lot of fun. And it got me even more excited about the dates we have coming up, right? So just to put these on your calendar here, I'm talking here Sunday, September 22nd. Tomorrow, perhaps when you're listening to this show, on Monday, the 23rd, they have their first ever home preseason game against the Los Angeles Kings. Another one to circle on your calendar is October 5th against the Colorado Avalanche. That one's at the Maverik Center, so I think that one will be a lot of fun to see NHL hockey, especially really close to opening night. So you'll probably see that opening night roster, really locked in at that point on the 5th in a really small venue, right, in the Maverik Center. I think that'll be a lot of fun, the intimacy and we'll be rubbing shoulders there, and we'll be, I think that it's a great place to watch a hockey game. The Maverik Center really is. It's definitely built for hockey, whereas the Delta Center is not built for hockey. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. And of course, the night we're never going to forget, the regular season home opener, nationally televised, Connor Bedard, Chicago Blackhawks, Delta Center. Snow falling from the ceiling, as we reported here on SLC Puck last episode. That's going to be a ton of fun. And then, more fun throughout the fall. The Utah Grizzlies have their home opener on November 1st, which I think is going to be a great way for people who are new to hockey to see the sport. And November is also something you can put on your calendar for when you can expect to see Utah Hockey Club jerseys. I almost said uniforms. You're probably not going to be able to buy the socks and the gloves and the helmet and the pants. But the jerseys will be for sale in November. And we've got a lot more information on that this week. That was a cool report to see from NHL.com. Obviously, if you're new to this, if you've been wondering where the hockey jerseys are, so have all the other hockey fans. And they were rolled out this week. Fanatics, who I'm sure you've heard of if you've ever bought a jersey or a hat in the last couple of years. They're going to do all the new NHL jerseys now for all the teams. So they've rolled out all the other jerseys for the other 31 teams. And well, the way they're doing it is kind of cool. They kind of have different tiers depending on, I guess, your interest level or, what you can afford. So you can get like the authentic jersey. I think that's going to be about like $425 or something. There's a tier below that, still like a really nice jersey. Everything's sewn on, looks really good. I think that one's going to be about $230. From there, there's another one that's like in the $150 range. So don't quote me on these prices. I'm just kind of trying to remember off the top of my head. Do your own research, obviously, but it's something like that. But all the other teams, they're taking orders on these already on Fanatics. The Utah Hockey Clubs, though, with the truncated schedule, I was a little concerned that these weren't going to be available until like the spring. But as it turns out, they think they're going to have them on shelves in November. And so I think that's going to be pretty fun to see. I am hoping to score one at a 50% discount. And I'll tell you why I'm going to do that and how I'm going to do that in just a second. But, I think we should talk about the guy who scored the Utah Hockey Club's third goal of the game. I think we need to talk about Dylan Guenther because he was also in the news this week. And the reason why is because this guy had a nice little payday for a 21-year-old. I'm pretty jealous. I'll tell you this. When I was 21, I wasn't signing $56 million contracts with NHL teams. I was probably doing a lot of dumb stuff, I don't want to rehash that. I'm 32. I still haven't signed a $56 million contract with anybody, so I'm jealous of Dylan Guenther. But he signed an 8-year, $56 million a year deal, a shade over $7 million a year. This isn't going to kick in until next year. He's still on his entry-level contract, but when his new contract kicks in next year, he'll be among one of the highest-paid players on the team, which is sort of interesting because he's only played in 80 NHL games in his career, which, again, I find very frustrating because that's not a lot. It's only 80 more than I've played in, so and I've done 43 more podcasts than him. I've actually done more than that because I've had to re-record a couple of episodes, including tonight's, because there was an audio issue. So you're listening to the second version of tonight's podcast. But again, it's fun to see him. He is definitely a name that you want to keep in mind because when we think about sports teams, I think we think about like it's really the players that we attach to, and I've been of the opinion that for I think people are going to like the Utah Hockey Club anyway because I think this is going to be a pretty fun team. I think there's a lot of reasons to like them, but I think for people to truly dig in and really love this team the way that they love the Utah Jazz, you need like a Donovan Mitchell type. You need like a Lauri Markkanen kind of personality, a guy who's like an all-star, someone who's like a dominant player, very marketable, good in the community. You could argue that might be Clayton Keller, but you could also say that could become Dylan Guenther here in a few years. And, and let me tell you why. This guy is an offensive weapon to the fullest degree. He's got an unbelievable shot. And it's kind of fun how it works out. His nickname, it works for a few different reasons. His name's Dylan Guenther. His nickname is Gunner, right? You see how that works? It also works because he's an absolute sniper. The guy can rip, like his wrist shot is super fast. He can connect on one-timers. When he has the puck anywhere near where he can score, he is a threat to put it in the back of the net. And, last year, it was kind of funny. It was like kind of his real big taste of the NHL. Again, he's only played in 80 games, but last year he was kind of a mid-season call-up. He started the year with the Tucson Roadrunners, was called up, was expected to just be there for a couple of games, but ended up sticking, and he played, ended up being about a little over 40 games with the Arizona Coyotes last year. Scored about, I'm looking at my stats here, scored 17 goals, 18 assists, 35 points, which is really good. And just to put that in a frame of reference, if you score over 20 goals in an NHL season, you're considered to be like an elite goal scorer in hockey. Maybe not elite, but a very good goal scorer. And so for him to get incredibly close to that threshold while only playing half of a season, it's a pretty good indicator that this guy's got some serious talent. And that is why the Utah Hockey Club was willing to make this investment in him and make him a pretty well-played player for someone as inexperienced as he is. And so I think there's a lot of excitement there. I was watching his teammates react to it on social media. They were excited for him as well. And I think there's a lot to like about him. You know, he wears like a cool number. He wears 11. I think that's important. It's not 9. I mean, 9 is clearly it's the best number. I mean, look at this here. I bought this game worn jersey at the Bees game today. I was just rifling through them, and I found one with the number 9. It's a Salt Lake Stingers jersey. I was like, God, they got me. I'm gonna have to get this. Dang it! And you can see behind me this is a few of my childhood jerseys. I wore number 9. So you know, when those jerseys come out in November, I think I'm probably gonna go with a Clayton Keller one because I like number 9. But you know, Dylan Guenther wears 11. Good looking kid. He's handsome. You know, he plays hard. His coaches also love his two-way game as well. So he's got real potential to be someone lighting the lamp quite a bit. That's a hockey term, by the way, lighting the lamp. You like that? At the Delta Center for quite some time. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see. And I enjoyed watching him score a goal on Seg. It was Seg Plus. It was fun. You know, Seg Plus, it's kind of like Disney Plus. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Maybe that's why they call it that. But you know, I'll say this: the experience of watching tonight's game was not exactly magical, and here's another way I would phrase it. I would say there's only room to improve when it comes to this broadcast. It was kind of interesting to watch. You know, they had Mike Folta, who's going to be their radio announcer. He did the play-by-play. He was with Nick Olchek as his color commentator, and it might have been just because they were in Iowa at a neutral venue, and because, you know, they're still trying to get everything together. But I thought the broadcast really did leave a lot to be desired for. And if you tuned into the game, you know exactly what I mean. The audio was really bad. The score bug in the corner was not super helpful. It had the score and the time, which, yes, I would say is important to know when you're watching a hockey game, but did not have, you know, the penalties on it, the time remaining on the penalties. Shots on goal, anything like that. I thought there was a lot of information not shown that I think would have been very helpful. And, you know, I think with the other big news of the week was them rolling out Seg Plus, which is the team's direct-to-consumer streaming platform. And so, you know, I was a little disappointed in that. But, I think they're going to really shore up a lot of these issues, get them worked out before the season starts. Again, this might have been preseason. It wouldn't surprise me if the broadcast tomorrow ends up being a lot better. But overall, I think Seg is a really good thing. And I did an episode previously about, you know, how to watch the games on TV. You know, obviously the other options being watching it on Utah 16. If you have DirecTV or Fubo, you'll be able to get those channels. But I also saw on the Twitter sphere that people were having a hard time getting the games on those as well. And they weren't coming through on the antenna either, which is another cheaper option. But so I chose to watch on Seg Plus. And again, the broadcast wasn't great. I'm sure that's going to improve. But I think overall, the Seg Plus could be a really good product when the game broadcast improved. And what really surprised me was the pricing as well. It ended up being a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Obviously, the Smith Entertainment Group did this last year with the Jazz. They did Jazz Plus. It was the same price last year, and this year you have the option to buy it for $125. You get 75 live Jazz games, DVR feature, insider content, 2 tickets to a Jazz preseason game, all that good stuff. So I figured they were going to offer something similar for the Utah Hockey Club, and it ends up being a really good deal. And when it starts working the way it should, when the broadcasts are really humming, I think people are going to really like it. If, you know, for $70 for the whole season, you get all the non-nationally televised games, DVR features. Would you consider Fubo's like $70 a month or so? That's like not, and DirecTV, I'm sure, is way, way more than that. I didn't even bother to look into that. This ends up being a really good deal. And you can also buy them game by game too. I think it ends up being about $5 a game. I, however, elected to go with the big boy, to go with Seg Plus that has both Utah Hockey Club games and Utah Jazz games. Other perks I got, you know, the insider content, 2 tickets to a Jazz or Utah Hockey Club game, but, you know, it's going to be the limited view seating. You know, you're not going to just be able to see one of those goals, or I'm not going to be able to, one of those nets. And maybe it'll be the net that the Utah Hockey Club should be scoring on, not the wrong one, which would be, I guess, a bummer. But And the other big perk is 50% off of a purchase of $250 or less, I think it is, at the Utah Hockey Club team store. So I'm going to cash that in and give me that jersey in November with that. I think that's going to be the play. But, other than that, the broadcast, again, was kind of a bummer. But I was sort of looking around at Seg Plus, the other stuff they have. Again, insider content's going to be their thing as well, another perk. And they kind of have this cool little documentary series. It's kind of in the same vein as HBO's Hard Knocks in the NFL. They're calling it Fresh Ice. And it's a behind-the-scenes look at, the coming together of this team, all that, and they have one episode out already, and it shows Ryan Smith talking to Gary Bettman on the phone. Gary's giving him the good news. Hey, the sale went through. You're the owner of the Utah Hockey Club now. Ryan's like, yeah, this is great. Thank you. And, then it shows the guys making the flight from Arizona to Utah, arriving, at the airplane hangar with all the little kids shouting, go Yeti, or whatever, as if we've been led to believe, that's what I've heard, at least. And then, shows them, getting a tour of the Delta Center and checking out their digs, and then being at that hotel, Le Meridian, I think it's called, across the street from the Delta Center, just chit-chatting up, boys being boys, and then taking the stage for the NHL welcome party, which, by the way, I did a vlog for it, and I think it's a damn good vlog, so I think you should check it out. But again, it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of insider content. And what I think what they should do is sort of take these guys on like a tour of like quirky places in Salt Lake City, like take them to Hobbitville, Allen Park and Sugar House, or take them to Crown Burger, right by the arena. Don't give them Crown Burger right before the game, though. That'll stick in their stomach. They won't play well that night. No way. But, on an off day, you got to try Crown. It's like a Salt Lake institution. Another good place might be like the Gildan Gardens. I think, is that what that's called? It has like the weird like Sphinx statue with Joseph Smith's face on it. Something like that. I think that would be a fun insider content series. So if you need any ideas, any help with stuff, let me know, Seg Plus. I'd be happy to give you guys some ideas. And if you guys have any ideas where the Utah Hockey Club should go to get acquainted with Salt Lake City, drop it in the comments. But again, put it in the books. Utah Hockey Club's first ever preseason game is a victory. It's a 5-3 win for the Utah Hockey Club. They scored 6 goals in the game. 5 of them were for them. One of them was for the St. Louis Blues. Hey, water under the bridge, no big deal. We got a quirky little thing to laugh about. That's what it's all about, right? We still had fun. So, well, thank you guys for tuning in. I am planning on being at the game on Monday at the Delta Center. So, if you see me, come say hi. I'll probably be wearing this hat. I've had it sewn to my head, so it's never going to leave my body. So I'll be easy to recognize. If you see me around, come say hey. But other than that, really appreciate you guys' support. Having a lot of fun. We'll keep it rolling. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Yes, I successfully re-recorded this podcast without a hitch. We'll see how it goes, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See you later.